One problem we have is that we confuse moralism with politics. You see, moralism is a search for a form of purity, a form of perfection. But politics is very different. Politics is about how we negotiate power. And the moral issue is when you're thinking about working with another morally, the fundamental question for you is that person moral, right? Is that person good? Is that person's actions representing a certain form of ultimately purity? But the political question is very different. It's not whether the person is moral, good, etc. The political question is about negotiating, having to work with people, whether you like them or not. That's the fundamental political question. And the mistake people make in this country is they think you got to like the people you work with politically.
Yeah.
And that's completely false, you see, because politics is about necessity. There is no individual moral likeness solution that's going to deal with the climate problem that we have right now. It is going to have to be to work with people we don't like so we can collectively do something about the heating temperatures of this planet. Similarly, if we're going to deal with racism and sexism, it's not going to be about whether there are people individually racist or sexist. It's whether we can agree with the basic conditions through which people can live together with dignity. And for us to have institutions in place that can make sure that certain efforts don't have more power than others to do something about them. And so, the problem I have is this very distorted view, right, makes us overly obsessed about people even when, say, they don't have power. You see, if we, for instance, get rid of white supremacy, it doesn't mean that there won't be individuals who are white supremacists. Now, if I'm going to obsess over them when they don't have power anymore, at this point, I have a problem. Because whether we like it or not, the people we call white supremacists are human beings, and they have a right to live as everybody else. And if we're going to obsess about that, we're going to reach a point where, and we've seen that scenario before, it's called cleansing.
You're right.
And similarly, if we are obsessed with anti-Black racists, which is a different thing, right? You can get rid of white supremacy and have anti-Black racism. Again, if you're obsessed with anti-Black racists, then you know what you're going to find. You're going to find yourself having to get rid of your grandmother, your brother, your sister, and so forth. Because, news alert, there are Black people who hate Black people. So there's a certain point where the cleansing model, the purity model doesn't work. Politics is about how to work together with our imperfections. All right. I'm, for instance, I've been in leadership positions in many places. I'm the head of a department, and I've been presidents of the places. I don't have to like or love my colleagues, but I'm committed to them being treated with dignity and respect. And so this is what I'm getting at. And so the political question becomes how to organize things in such a way, our institutions, our laws, our distributions of wealth, all of those things around understanding the value of people, period. And then we can individually let the therapists and the spouses and the families battle out their stuff, right? But that's the big confusion. So to get back to what you asked earlier, it's not that I think politics saves us. It's that what I do think is for us to save ourselves we need to learn to work politically.